your fucking pride.
Monkey D. Goofy. D. Goofy. You're slobbering this bad guy.
Why would they do that, bro?
Bro, because it's get you ready, don't Yeah, no!
All right, what is good, people? I'm back again. Another movie review. Right now, we got one of the most highly anticipated, I guess you could say, controversial movies this year because of who's in it. We have Emancipation, starring Will Smith, coming to you from Apple Plus. Right now, I'm joined with my co-host, Romy Rome.
Sir.
Obviously so. And,
well,
yeah, dog, I don't know where to start with this movie. It's a period piece taking place back in the day when slavery was going on. This is actually taking place right after the Emancipation was passed by Abraham Lincoln, January 1st. Right, 1863. So, obviously, you know, niggas is still enslaved. Even though the news is out there, it's not really being spread like that because, obviously, why would the owners be spreading that information to their slaves? They don't want to lose their workforce and things like that. But one thing I had to say about this movie is thank you for not half-stepping and showing us what it was really, you know what I'm saying, the type of time these niggas was on, you know what I'm saying. You go in to these camps or whatever and you feel it from jump, like, because we start the movie and this nigga's getting separated from his family because he's been sold off. So what were your kind of thoughts about how the movie kind of got rolling right out the gate?
Yeah, I liked how they didn't hold back. And, you know, I noticed a part in there, you know how everybody thinks, oh, Union soldiers are all loved, but when he got to that camp, that Union camp, that soldier was being kind of real, you know, okay, I'll give you this name, or, you know, you're not quite free yet, you're in the army, you know, basically,
right.
like, so it was letting people know the real details, like, you know, Union soldiers, yeah, they were for freedom, and they were fighting for the Union, Lincoln's army, but, you know, a lot of those guys really were kind of, a lot of those guys really could give two shits like about slavery. It was all political thing.
Yeah,
it was
they
all
wanted
about
more bodies.
Yeah.
Wartime, you know what I'm saying? If
that's
you're not
it.
gonna, you know, participate, then you're not gonna really get your freedom like that
Yeah,
because you're just a runaway.
Yeah, and they will send the all black brigade out there in the hard trenches, you know, send them out there first.
Suicide field, the killing field.
Suicide mission, literally. And but yeah, Will Smith, he definitely deserves some Oscar-worthy, you know, praise for this.
That's crazy.
This is the best slave I've seen be portrayed since maybe, I'll go back to say Denzel Glory, but I think this beats that. 12 Years a Slave.
12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, it was pretty decent, but you know, it's pretty close. But it's a pretty good story, and I didn't know nothing about the guy. Everybody's seen that picture of the guy with the whip scars on his back. We seen that all through like school. I seen it in a textbook before.
Right.
So, you know, and I didn't know his journey was like that. He fought the gator and the way he got through all those
running from the dogs.
Yeah, running from all those the slave catchers and stuff and in the swamps. And you know, my favorite character was the guy with the brand on his face because
oh really?
He was sort of like an outlaw slave. Like, you know, okay, I'm a slave, but he was the one that had the big mouth. Like, I'm not gonna take your shit.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
I'm a slave.
Man
but I'm gonna let you know, like, you don't own me. You know, and all of that. That's why he got why he got branded, and this is why he, you know, had a hard time. It really didn't end well for him. You know, because really he was really stubborn and hard-headed.
He was.
He didn't rub the onions on himself, you know.
Yeah, like, because, you know, you could tell that Peter, who was the character that Will Smith was playing, he's a Haitian slave, but he knows, like, the jungle and, well, the forests, things like that. So he's kind of aware of how to survive in the swamp to a degree and different little tips and tricks. Like, he had gotten shot multiple times. He knew how to take the bullets out, clean that up, and even use honey as like an antiseptic. And later on, he found onions, which he told homie, the runaway slave, to, you know, take a bite and rub it on himself just to get the scent off of him.
That dog was closer to him than it was the guy in the street, but he rubbed the onions on himself.
Yeah, he rubbed the onions on himself. So, hey, sometimes you gotta put your pride aside and just take the advice, because you could tell that Will Smith's character wasn't simply in it for himself, because even with the younger guy that took off running with him, like, he was trying to comfort them even when they first got sold off or whatever, and he was like, just follow me. It'll be good. You're gonna make it. Obviously, that wasn't the case because they was going against some real deal niggas. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jim Fassel because that dude was played by Ben Foster, and he's a bad motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
Bad motherfucker.
So as far as God, I know you're a big villain guy. So as far as villains go, and we've seen like by this point of our lives, we've seen a good bit of slave movies, slave like stories and stuff. So where do you rank his, slave master performance or so he was a slave master.
He wasn't a master. He was like the hunter.
Very skilled at what he did.
Yeah, and they built him up.
Always came back with heads, a sack of heads and shit. That was crazy. That's one of the raw details they showed. The heads, being hung in the air off the sticks.
Right.
And like just to implement fear in those slaves, just to let them know, like, don't think about running. Don't think about doing it.
If you run the first time, you're gonna catch the brand, but that second time it seems like they're gonna take your fucking head off.
Yeah, and little kids were trained to know if there's a runner.
Yeah.
Runner.
Like, bro, that was a sick scene.
It was sick, and at the same time it hurt because it's like, man, children were trained so young.
Like 6-7-year-old little white.
She didn't show him no mercy. She could have barely looked up and saw like, oh, whatever. She wanted him to get caught.
Yeah.
That brought satisfaction to her and her whole family. That's what it was. But hey, like I said, I know you're a big villain guy. So
right.
So but where do you think his performance ranks with like the Django guys in there, the villains?
Yeah. See, like that's the only villain that comes to my mind right now in these type of movies that I would say is like better was like Mr. Candy and played by Leo and Django. I mean, that dude was just going hard as hell. This guy wasn't so much over the top that you could tell that like, I don't know, man, he wasn't like indoctrinated the same way like it seems a lot of other white people were, because like he even grew up with like a black caretaker or whatever that fed him and clothed him, washed him, all that other stuff. But it was sick because when he was telling the story, you really got to see how he's different from his other goons, because they're just like, oh, how can this ignorant Negro come out here and get away from us and fight a gator and kill a gator and do all this other stuff? And he was like, well, that's really your problem. You think that they're so ignorant, but they're just out here trying to survive.
Yeah.
But I can't let that happen, because what's going to happen if enough of them do it? They're eventually going to take everything over, and maybe they'll return the favor to us. Which is a logical way to think about it, you know what I'm saying? That's a way where he's not like straight racist, but it's like, yeah, I'm still going to be on that type of time because this is what it is.
He's trying to protect his dominance, and really,
right.
That was a big thing that people don't bring up a lot from the people way back in those times that were racist. They're like black people. Really, a lot of them, they didn't want, the reason why they implemented so much fear and they told them so many things that would scare them and showed them getting, demasculinized in front of everybody and things like that, is because they didn't want them to realize their own power. Yeah. They didn't want them to realize you got the same brain we got. You capable of learning just as much as we capable of learning. You're capable.
A lot more of them.
You're stronger. You're likely faster than us or whatever. Those type of things. So, it was all about don't let them really, don't let them, I guess, just think about really who they really are and really what they can do, how special they can be.
They try and take away their culture at every turn.
Yeah.
Like even the scene with the wife talking with her husband, Will Smith, she was talking about, or she was telling the kids when he was gone how, like, when they made us come here, they tried to change our language, they tried to give us another name, they tried to do all these things to make us forget who we are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You strip us of the rights to like read and write, and only a few select people are able to get that privilege unless they already come in with it. So it's
that's crazy, because we're the only culture that really had to deal with as far as the identity, wiping, like the deletion of our identity, our real true identities. Because you look at the Hispanic culture, the Mexican culture, a lot of them live in America, but they have their last name still. They know they're Hernandez or they're Lopez or this and that. That's a foreign last name. You know what I'm saying? Us blacks now, we're used to it, of course, by now, these centuries. But these last names aren't African. These aren't Indian. These aren't foreign last names. These are Americanized European last names that we had to accept because, you know, generations back, you get here off a boat, you know, they tell you, you know, your name's not Kunta, it's Toby, you know, for example, pretty much. So, you know, you're literally being forced to you know, to do away with everything you ever known, even if you did know it. So that first generation, when they got here, of course, their kids and their kids are gonna all they're gonna know is, oh, my last name is Turner, you know, or this or that, or whatever. But now, of course, you know, it's you know, it is what it is now, you know.
Well,
but
it was just like they tried to dilute it, and like that was you brought it up. That was like the one thing that they probably could have went harder on is like, you know, the masters actually taking advantage and trying to dilute the bloodline, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like they seem like they wanted to kind of do it a little bit when the one, you know, slave owner or whatever came up and he was talking to the wife, and he even made a little comment about like the oldest daughter, who could only be like 12 years old at the time or something like that. So
they didn't give a fuck. They didn't care.
That shit was wild.
Yeah, you know, it's a big thing, you know, and you know, I don't know if the director really has the balls to really one day really go into depth how it really went, you know.
Well, see, that's why I would give a bit of an edge to 12 Years a Slave, because I do feel like there was a few more scenes where they were pushing the line. You know what I'm saying?
You know?
And showing you how it really, because you got to really get really like that. And I do want to say shout out to Antonio Fuqua for doing this movie, because he's a big time director. We all know this, done hella films, like big time films. So, you know, he went hard with it. I think that the production was on point, actors on point, just the way the movie was shot.
The color setting, you know,
color grade.
Of course, they had the money to do it, but they just wanted to give you the feel like this is pretty much sorrow the whole time.
Like,
you know,
how
like,
bleak and desperate that it is, because like the world looks kind of gray and washed out and stuff.
I mean, that was the deadliest war in American history. You know, Civil War. We were fighting ourselves. The deadliest war on our soil. You know. More than World War II, more deaths than World War I, more deaths than the Afghanistan war, and all that. It's more.
Because you really got to see when he actually got drafted, so to speak, because after the battle, you literally get an upshot of it, and it's just bodies literally like every 3-4 feet. It was really crazy.
That's the most threatening thing to our society is a civil war. And I hope our country I don't think it'll ever get that way again. Not quite like that. It's not going to get like that. It's too diverse now for it to be a real legit secession of the Union and all. It's too diverse for that now. But you know, it's just, you know, you still see some of those now in today's time. You still see some of the lingering effects from the Civil War. I would say from the South versus the North, because it's like, you know, think about it. Okay, the South still is overall still more rural, still more or less progressive than the North. You know, all this stems from the very beginning. You know, and it still shows today. It's of course it's a lot more even, a lot more modern, of course.
Accepting.
You know, a lot more accepting. You know, but you know, just look at when it's time to vote for these politicians and stuff. Look at these maps. It's the same shit. You know, it's the same thing. Like, this is still. Of course, it's not a civil war. It's not like things like that going on, but these people still have the same thoughts as far as, like, you know, a division of, you know, a geographical division, you know, as far as, like, you know, beliefs or political beliefs, religious beliefs, or whatever it may be. Like, okay, a Democrat, you know, is going to win most of the northern states for the most part, right? Start going down south, you know, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
You know, but that's weird because, you know, somewhere down the line, those parties flipped because Republicans was the party that freed the slaves, right? But see, it was when a certain president, I forgot what president it was that got in office way after that, but it was still back in the day. The people they switched sides because he was saying something totally different from what they known their party to be like, you know.
Right.
And so I forgot what president this was.
Yeah.
Forgive me for not knowing, but the Republicans then, who were all for, like, free the slaves and all, like, you know, kind of, you know, just you know, left, I guess you would say now, on the left, they went to the Democratic side, and the Democrats, who are all for keep things the same and, more, kind of, I guess, like the old, keep things the old way. Yeah, less progressive. They went to Republican, and ever since then, it has stayed like that. Because if it stayed the way it was intended to be, Trump would have ran as a Democrat. All these, Reagan would have been a Democrat. Barack Obama would have been a Republican. You know what I'm saying? Biden would have been a Republican. Things like that. But that thing is deep, man. The Civil War had a lot of repercussions on this country. We're still feeling it to this day. And like, I just wanted to, I just want more people to really touch on it, because, as soon as the more we really just kind of just educate ourselves on what really happened, I feel like that's the sooner we all can heal and move on, and people really can just like not really just hold things in and just really say how you feel, but that's a very it's a very interesting time, because of things a lot of things.
Yeah, because honestly, because if we're gonna be real about it, yes, racism and all this other stuff stems from a lot of those times, and honestly, it's still somewhat pervasive today. Like we said, it's a lot better, but to a degree, it does seem like it's kind of flipped as well, to where black folks, some, obviously not all, but some of them have kind of adopted a mindset that's a little bit racist towards the other side as well. Yeah. And it's not like, I don't really blame them for that, but it's like, it just seems like kind of a natural byproduct of all the years of being put down like that. Now you want to put somebody else down.
And you see, the hatred that black people have, that some have towards white people, which they shouldn't, but it really stems from, like, I guess you hit me first type thing, or you know what I'm saying, you took a shot at me first, so like I have a reason to not like you, but that's not the way to go. You know what I'm saying? It's not the way to go, because not everybody's a slave. Not everybody thinks like that. Like, come on. So but you gotta think about too, the people who don't like blacks, the white people don't like blacks. Like, it's more of an indictment to them, because it's like originally you had no reason to even to not like black people, because originally you want to go deep back. Okay, they did bring us over here, but at the end of the day, it's like, why for a white person in the 1800s, why would you not like a black person? They're chained up, they can't do nothing to you. What did they do to you? You know what I'm saying? So that's why racism for a white person always looked at as like more extreme, because it's like, why do you hate this color? You're white,
it's really your superior.
Yeah. Like y'all.
Where did that really come from?
Yeah, y'all don't get judged. Why we get judged? Why do you not like me? I'm trying to get looked at equal like you. So that's why it's more of an indictment to a white person if they're racist, because they're like, oh, why are you racist? And all this and that. But it's.
Because let's be real, we can make some comments in our community that if it was said in another one, it's not going to get near the same reaction.
Like that's
how
it is.
It's not right, but that's how it is.
Yeah, because what it is like it's the unspoken, the rule of like, okay, well, blacks can play around like that because they've been through enough. That's that type of thinking. Their culture been through enough, so they can make them jokes and this and that. But if white people behind doors are making those same jokes, it's like, oh, they racist. Fuck, they're this. That's why. And that's not right. So it's not right for one to be the other. That's why I say it's a lot of things that stems from all of that. But honestly, even though a couple years ago I felt like we were taking some steps back as far as like unity in the country, it's still a long way to go. This is America. It's gonna be a while before America really comes a whole to everything. But we have made, like, it has been like tremendous strides. Like, it's not near like that. It will never be like that again.
Yeah.
And so the strides now, of course, we're in a way better place than what that was. Society's a way better place, and it makes you more thankful really watching movies like that. It's like, man, like we thought we had some problems to deal with today as far as a people, man. Imagine that. And it makes you just respect our ancestors more and like what they did for us, and when times like Black History Month come around, pay homage. You know what I'm saying? That's not just
be thankful. Dog.
Yeah, they gotta be thankful, man. Like, cause there were people. If certain people didn't rise up and speak up and fight on our behalf for our country, like for our people,
it wasn't just
white folks weren't gonna free us on their own. It took Frederick Douglass, it took people like Peter and Harriet Tubman to really speak up and say we care about being free. We realize We can learn. We have brains. We realize we're worth more than what y'all say we are. It took people like that in those times who knew that it was a death sentence to do that. You know, it took people like them to really make a real change. And bro, I'm thankful. I'm very thankful, you know, for those people in our history. You know, I'm just as thankful for them than MLK. You know, I'm thankful for the people that spoke up when we were in chains. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When we were getting whipped. You know, MLK. Oh yeah, we know what he is. I'm talking about it's harder to do all that marching and all that stuff when you ain't got it. When you looked at like cattle. You know what I'm saying? So, hey. Kudos to all those, you know, from back in the day, you know, the ancestors. Thank you for everything you did, for standing up for us, and you know, I'll never forget it. Of course, we never will forget it. I always pay homage.
Yeah, and one other historical thing that I really liked that they kind of touched on was the deserters of the Confederate Army.
Oh yeah.
Because they had them chained up as well, and they were actually digging mass graves, basically.
Yeah.
And they were treated as slaves in the same type of way.
They were looked at. Yeah, they were looked at just as bad as like a black person. Like. They called them like, you know, end lovers. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was if you were an end lover, you were just as bad as that black guy over there. You know, and you know, another thing I realized in there too was they really could have they really could have went there. They really could have took it there, but it was a part where damn, I was gonna say, damn it, it was a part where Peter was like, the black guy that was helping hunt him down, he was like, you know, you're the worst kind before he.
Oh yeah.
But before he
there was
like,
a black hunter that was
like, you're the worst kind, because like, bro, you're setting us back. Like, you're me. I'm you.
Know what this is, and like you're doing this to us.
I know he had a heart, but then again, you can't blame him
because he said like, yo, you got a family too. Because like, in the end, we don't know. Like, what if? Because do you think that his family would be safe if he turned down the offer to go hunting? But I understand in the day you got. That
was his only shot for getting the opportunity to do that with them. Was his only shot to be treated somewhat okay. Not he's being with them doing that keeps him from being sold away. It keeps him from being really like a slave. Right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like them, you know, getting better treatment. I bet he doesn't get whipped. You know, he eats pretty decent compared to the slaves probably. You know, he was a old school Uncle Tom, man. Uncle Tom. That's crazy. That's what Uncle Tom started right there. They didn't. Those white men that go to Africa, all of them were catching us wasn't white men. They make cahoots with some of the big slaves, the big fast slaves. When they got there and they said, hey, we're gonna need your help catching some of these guys. You know where they at? You know where they be? You know where they run to? You know where they can hide? So we need your help, bro. It took them. They paid them all types of gold and silver.
Hey, we'll get to that.
Oh Lord, Cooper Rush coming. But it took them all types of gold and silver to give them to help them catch. Bro, look up Roots. Look up the Roots movie. Mm-hmm. Look up all types. Some movies will show you black people overseas in Africa when they were going over there and getting them. And like in the beginning, they had black people helping them catch those Africans because it's like we need help catching these people, and they gave them goods and traded things with them, and gold and money and stuff like that, just to catch their own people. To catch their own people. As a people, we have held ourselves back a lot of times and we don't talk about it. Our own
self-inflicted
have sold us out for $1. Okay? Just metaphorically speaking, just like, you know, for whatever they feel like they needed. But yeah, he told him, he was like, hey, you the worst kind, man. Like you the worst kind. And that is the worst kind. Your own helping you be enslaved. You know what I'm saying? Helping you be whipped, helping you get caught and get killed. You know, but then again, you can't hop on him too much because what choice did he really have? No, I don't want to help y'all do that. And
no, what's gonna happen to him? Yeah, like no, and that I do think that was like a strong addition in the movie to have someone like that as like a goon, and not in a typical way that a lot of the other slave movies have done, where that person's like how they are, you know. Django or whatever, where it's just like a butler type dude. No, this dude is actually out here really inflicting physical pain and out here catching runaway slaves with the main villain and stuff like that.
You remember that campfire story the villain guy was talking about at the campfire story. They kind of flashed back to the black guy. It was hitting home for him. He teared up damn near. He was like, That's when I know, like, okay, if he really had a choice, he won't be doing that. He's been forced in that position to help them hunt, because obviously he has some type of skill, shooting skill or whatever skill.
Right. Ride horses, he can clean animals.
And
track.
You know, he can help them. He can help do the dirty work out there that they don't want to do. Oh, I think that slaves in that little tree stump swamp thing over there. Go over there and get them.
Cut open that gator.
That type of stuff. So, hey.
Yeah, but that was definitely a strength in the movie, along with like how we were saying how like they're really showing the racism from like all sides, like even with just like the little kid. Yeah. Even the deserters had like some slick comments to say like, why do we got to keep digging this grave? There's a perfectly good Negro over here. So it's like all that stuff was like super sick to me. How they were showing it like this is like unrelenting. This is just the time that you're in, and you really get trapped in that spot where it's like there is no way out. It's coming at you from all sides. One thing I did have a bit of an issue with in this movie, because you know it's a great movie, but I do have a bit of an issue with how the main villain ended up getting taken out. Now, obviously it's fine and it's a real life story. I'm not expecting these things to go toe to toe or some shit. No, but like after Peter was able to take out the other goons, I was hoping to get like kind of, I don't know, a bit more of an extended chase scene with these two where like, you know, he keeps trying to put him down and stuff like that and kind of explain more of how his ideology is the way it is against Peter, who this whole time has put his faith in God and said again and again, like, what can a mere man do to me? So you know clearly from his faith and just his like strength of will and all that, like he hasn't ever let these people like break him or put him down, even at a cold monologue to the Union soldier or whatever.
That's a big thing too. I didn't forgot to touch on like the religion aspect of it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes was when the guy was Brandon. They were in there, that little cage thing. He was like, and he heard Peter say something like "trust in God."
Trust in God. Yeah.
He just got it. Just poked a bear, and he just triggered something. He was like, because he was tied up with Brandon, but he like, what?
And he had just gotten back from being whipped for hours.
He like what the what? Don't tell him talking about.
Where's your God?
That was the last guy I wanted to hear that. He was like, don't talk to me about a guy like, you know, I want to see. Basically, he told like, it was powerful. He's like, I want to see like basically, I want to see you get up right now and praise your God.
Stand up right now, and I'll fall on my knees for you and your God.
But you know, and it just, you know, it is me with me being a Christian is like it hit home for me because when Peter was like, you know, he cried and he felt where he was coming. He really felt where that guy was coming from, but
he said, you know, I can't tell you why God chooses to reveal himself to some and not others, but I feel for you if you don't know him. That's hard.
That's strong faith right there. Hard. That's strong faith. And
I'm praying for you.
Yeah, that's you know, that's the faith that some people that you gotta have to really get through, because at the end of the day, you can tell Peter, okay, why you believe in God? You thought, what other hope does he have? He has to believe in being in a position. You gotta believe in something, man. You gotta believe in something. Like this is not meant for me. I gotta believe that one day I'm gonna be free, because if not, you might as well just kill yourself right there, right then and there.
And see, like if you really like think about it like that, and if let's say you don't believe that there's any higher power or stuff like that, what's the harm in it? You know what I'm saying? If it's like a positive influence on you to where it helps keep you going through literally the worst of times, like there's nothing wrong about that. So you have to understand, even if you don't believe in it necessarily, just how much that's positively impacting certain people. Because like you can see other scenes through the movie, like when he's on the run, he's like looking at the nature, and then he even takes time to just stop and let the light shine on him, because it seems like he could tell like God is helping him get out of certain situations. You know,
you just gotta, situations like that, you gotta count the good. You know, count the things that are going all right. You know, count the things that they could have went worse. You know, and that's how he was thinking, and it helped him. You know, it helped him literally make it out the belly of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't get eaten by the crocodile. You made it through all the, and the part like too, he had that honey. He was like, you know, I'm about to eat some of this shit. He started, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, and
But yeah, like I was saying, it's like that was my only nitpick with the movie, because like the villain was going so hard, and as many times as Peter did take stuff into his own hands, there were those couple times where it's like, you could tell that the director's trying to get across that God's helping him through
Yeah,
the situation.
yeah.
But I kind of wish like he could have resolved that final battle with Fassel in a way more like hands on, like how he did with the goons and stuff like that.
Kind of like a good fist fight, you know?
Yeah, or like just something, right? Because like to then like tell him like you're not no god to me because they had their back and forth throughout the movie or whatever. It was kind of like, I understand that moment, but I feel like it could have been more powerful if he had really been able to take it into his own hands. But
but I mean, it was they were just keeping it true, a true story, you know.
Yeah,
and you know, it just I don't mind like a bland ending if it just seems realistic, you know what I'm saying? Because honestly, if the ending is too out of stellar, like I'm just gonna be like, okay, come on now, like, I don't need no Disney channels, like just. Give it to me. I don't mind some tweaks here and there. Yeah, a little fist fight could have been good, but I mean, he did whoop the ass of those two guards, those guys when that little explosion, and then he they made it.
I don't really think it's so much of like, I didn't need like a fist fight or anything like that. It's just like when he had knocked him down and it was like calling him his dog and stuff like that because he had been telling him that throughout the whole movie. Like, I wish they could have had a chance to like go back and forth because he wasn't backing down. He wasn't gonna beg for the stuff that he was trying to give him or make him come back with him. And you could see that he was getting like super frustrated at that. So if he could have like really like went in on us, like, why aren't you actually listening to me? You're not supposed to feel like you're an equal to me. That I feel like that could have made a little more impact.
Yeah, he got real pissed when that dog got killed. He shot that dog.
No, yeah.
He saw that shit. Saw that horse.
Come on, motherfucker, let's go.
Yeah, he loved the sport of hunting.
It was a sport.
It was a sport. Yeah, like hunting deer. He loved it, bro. He
get up early in the morning, like come back.
Remember when that happened? Like when everybody escaped, he was like, he was like, we got some work to do, something like that. He
said we got work to do.
Yeah.
This shit was crazy, man.
But it was a great movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it's really based off of like, now I want to see how true to the story it is, or what things they kind of did because of Hollywood or whatnot. But if all that is a true story, that's a crazy adventure that homie went through.
Yeah.
And then to finally see when he does take the picture for the journalist or whatever, to see that this whole journey is so crazy, but the stuff that he went through before, as shown on the scars on his back, is like really shows you that this nigga done been through it. Because when he did have that monologue to that Union soldier, he was like, they've beat me, they've burned me, they've cut me, they've whipped me, they break my bones over and over again, but they've never broken me. Because he was like, I don't know if you're just disobedient or
and the captain of like the Black Brigade, he was like, hey, we're on the battlefield, you and me.
He
recognized that courage. And as the battle was going on, that guy kind of gave up a little bit towards the end.
Well, he got shot.
Yeah, got shot. Yeah, he was like, he routed everybody up.
Because he realized they were in a bad spot. Yeah. They had to push through.
Yeah.
So it was a great movie. So what would you give as a rating for this movie out of 10?
Well, I'm not comparing it to like all movies ever. I'm comparing it to the movies that's in this category. I'll give it a 9.5. I get 9.5 out of 10 for a slave movie, a slave story. Yes, 9.5.
I give it a solid 8. The reason why I say so is because the main villain, but not only that, it's just like I feel like the movie it started off a touch slow, but the pace had really hit its stride once he got out on the run. It felt like that's really when the movie got started. Not saying anything before that dragged or nothing like that, because it didn't. But I was kind of hoping we could ride that basically all the way to the end of the movie. But obviously, you got to finish off with him actually going to reunite with his family and all that. So maybe it was just the way the movie was kind of constructed that kind of dings it a little bit for me, and then the villain. But overall, excellent movie. Y'all have to watch this, dog. Yeah. Apple TV is coming with that stuff, man. So
I mean, it was some parts. If you're not like got your mind right, like just got your mind setting out to cry, you probably would get a little.
Well, like, you get emotional, bro, because like when he really finally reunited with his family,
oh yeah,
dog,
that was a part right there.
That was like to finally see him like hug his children again, and just everything, dog. Because that was everything. Like,
and the things he went through just to get to that point, it was
it's
just
crazy. It's crazy stuff.
Great job, Will Smith. You talk about a great redemption movie from the sense of incident. That's a good one to get people kind of sucked back in a little bit. It's still gonna take a couple more movies.
Yeah, it's gonna take some more.
I'll say about another calendar year for people really just to kind of really just. All right, it's Will Smith again. Remember
how many years has he banned for? Was it 5 years?
I heard it was a decade, a 10-year ban from the. He might as well not go back. Period. But honestly, Will Smith, he was looked at as like this. The goofy guy, the funny guy in the room, you know, the vibrant guy, you know, the guy who
Independence
Day, the guy who wouldn't hurt a soul, the Fresh Prince, you know? Yeah, and now you know
he's doing dramatic.
He was painted as like, but when that Chris Rock thing painted as like this bad person, so now it's interesting to see like how he's going to come back from this. This movie was a great start,
Great start, man. I honestly do kind of hope he goes on a little run here for the next few years because if you look at his last few movies, he really seems to be hitting his stride as an actor. In terms of the other actors in the movie, they were all solid. I don't really feel like anybody was out of place or nothing like that. All the goons were like, I felt that energy from them. Main villain obviously was on that as well. So I just think overall, like, really well done as a total cast, but Will Smith definitely brought it for this one. So y'all need to check it out if you haven't. Great movie. And that's going to do it for us on this one, man. So let us know what you thought about the movie if you have watched it. Obviously, I'm going to come to you with some more and more movie reviews, trailer reactions, all that stuff. The Madi Awards is coming very, very shortly. And prepare for that, people, because that's going to be
it seemed like just yesterday. It's like last month you did that or something, man.
You know, last year. But hey, you know, we ready for it. It's about that time, end of the year. We got to look at all the movies of the year. But like, comment, subscribe, people. Let us
Twitch coming soon.
Twitch is coming. Twitch is already kind of here.
Get ready to stream.
It's already kind of here, but we coming, people.
Casting that, whatever. Y'all watch out, man. We coming. Hey, nah, I'm a big fan of y'all. I love y'all. You know, I want to collab. But we coming too, all right?
Yeah, we got a little ways to go before we get to that level. But we going to get there, man. We coming. But we'll catch y'all on the next one. It's been your boy T-Rav, and I'm out.